Something that's come up recently is people have been talking about the inmates at the jail and how long every day they stay locked up. Can you give us an update about that and why?
Yeah, it depends on classification of the inmate. You talked about the Measure 11, the real serious offenders, the violent offenders, the problem inmates. They go into a cell basically for 23 hours a day, provided light, obviously food, all that. But they go out into an exercise yard for about an hour a day. Of those inmates, we have, I think there's probably between 25 and 30, somewhere in there right now, in that range out of the 130 we currently are incarcerating. There are certain situations where if you have fights or if you have, say, drugs that are, brought illegally into the facility by someone that's being booked in, where we can lock down the different pods so they can actually do the same thing as well. It's kind of situationally dependent on that. And there's no real Oregon jail standard per se for that I'm aware of, when you can and when you can't. Recently, if we had for about, it was 4 days, I think it was 3 or 4 days, we did lock down an entire pod due to drugs and then fights. So, because obviously...
So how does that differ from the policy as it relates to non-Measure 11 inmates? In terms of the time that they have out of the cell?
Well, they could have potentially, almost all the time out of the cell, except for sleeping hours. They can, and even sometimes there's different areas, and I can be happy to show you the situation, no issue, where there's just like barracks as well. So they're truly out, 24 hours a day. Not necessarily outside. They go outside for an hour a day, but they have free reign within their different pods. So the lockdown is just in their kind of their sleeping quarter is what we're talking about there. And it doesn't, other than the serious inmates, it doesn't happen that often.
So this idea of being locked down 23 hours a day, is this a new policy? Is this just recent bad inmates? What's
been going on since this jail was built? That's just how the correctional system works. If you got a rapist or a murderer or a violent offender, you're just, for safety and security of the facility, not only employees of the facility, but the other inmates. You have to kind of segregate that.
I get it.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If I were serving 30 days for some, domestic dispute or something like that, I wouldn't want to be having to worry about somebody thumping me from behind or something. So I get it. That's more for the protection of the rest of the inmates, I think.
How is that thumping from behind problem going? I mean, it happens in every jail.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It is. I guess it is what it is. We try and classify inmates. We try and see behaviorals. Just the other day, one of my corrections deputies brought a person in that was being booked in and lodged. Walked into one of the pods, and the pod went dead silent. And it was that. What do we have here? Immediately, that person was brought back out and sent to a different location, and it's worked out fine. So you have that. It's a matter of history. It's a matter of that feeling of what's going on, and also talking to the inmates, and getting information too. So we deal with it. It's on a regular basis as far as trying to make sure things are safe as we can.
There's now a question about, somehow it seems that there's a new rule about distribution of religious materials. What's up with this?
Yeah. There was no new rule. There was no new rule at all. The incident you're talking about was one of our inmates who was, he was arrested for rape in the first degree, and he requested a Catholic Bible. Well, we didn't have any Catholic Bibles here. We have just the New Testament or the King James version of it, and he didn't want that. He wanted the Catholic Bible. We told him basically it's not a problem. You can have a Catholic Bible. Have somebody from the outside send it to you. We'll check it for safety, and then we'll give it to you. And that's exactly what happened. And that's the issue you're talking about, that there was some scuttlebutt over we weren't providing religious material. We didn't provide religious material in the form of a Catholic Bible to him. We provided the another
Well,
version.
I'm not a Catholic, so I don't know what the difference is, but,
Oh, there are different books in the Catholic Bible.
oh, okay.
So anyway, that was the issue, and we took care of it just that way. His family sent him a Catholic Bible, and he got it.
So is there any validity at all to any of the, well, rumors or the people are saying things about religious freedom inside the
No.
jail?
There absolutely is not any validity to that, those rumors that I'm aware of. I would like to bring in in the previous administration, they took out the pastors that were able to come in and talk to the people inside here, and I want to start that again. That's something I think it's doable. Keep in mind we're down to a skeleton crew. I mean, it's, we had a person call in sick today, and it just shrinks us even more.
So it requires extra personnel that you assign when somebody from the outside is in there.
It does, but I think it can be done maybe a little differently than it's been done in the past, where maybe you have 4 or 5 inmates speaking to a pastor in a room, where you have to have some deputy watching them. I might be able to do it like in the attorney-client area, where there's a little screen between them, but then it's just a matter of buzzing a person in. It's not as, I guess, friendly, but
But it's safer and
absolutely.
doesn't require the extra personnel.
the person,
Yeah.
the person power.
How much
sense.
privacy can you actually give to someone who wants to confess to their priest or something like that?
Complete. Yeah,
Complete?
complete privacy, because you have, same with the attorneys. The attorneys come in here and they get complete privacy with their clients in the same light.
But there's a rule in Oregon where you can watch but you can't record audio. Is that the way it works here? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Right, because you're going to watch if someone's in there with someone that
our
could
facility.
assault them.
Yeah, our facility is there's audio throughout, except for those. We can record throughout, except for the attorney client area.
So that would be potentially where a member of the clergy would go?
Yes, that's my ideally, and that would be also the easiest way for us to try to manage the movement of the clergy when they come in.
So is there any special problem or challenge with someone of the Jewish faith? Because somebody was mentioning that the other day, and I don't know whether that's right or not. No?
No, it'd be available to all.
This is not a huge city, so there's not going to be something like it might happen in New York where someone wants to practice their Santeria religion where you got to kill a live chicken or something like that. No, okay, but
There has to be lines, it has to be barriers there, you can't,
well, but that's their, that's their faith, apparently so, and I think it's a little strange, but that's just me.
Well, maybe
But-
they shouldn't have done the crime then.
This is they would merely be a verbal exchange between,
Right.
there'd be no chickens.
No chickens. Unless you're going to share with everybody.
Yeah.
Or if you're Rika and you want to beat your dog with a chicken. Yes, right.
Okay.
Oh, it's a long story. We'll share that video with you. It's a classic. Edvinsson, to me, seemed like a really good guy. I liked him very much, and you guys were getting along very well on the campaign trail. And many times the two of you would be talking, and the previous sheriff just wasn't talking with you. You seemed to be pals. Now Edvinsson has another role in your organization. There are some people who are saying, oh, wait a minute, was he really qualified for that? And while you probably can't talk a lot about personnel matters, and I already said that I like the guy, how big a stretch was it to put Edvinsson in that position, and what position are we talking about?
Basically jail. He's the sergeant, jail sergeant in charge. He's up running the jail. I downsized. I didn't think we needed a captain all the way up there at the highest rank, to do that. I thought for a long time during the campaign, and even after. I don't know how long after, but what I was going to do with that position, because of the appearance of bringing someone on the campaign trail with you, and I thought, number one, is he qualified? Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. He understands this jail, how it functions and operates inside and out, and all the different PREA rules and things like that we need to adhere to. But then, even on top of that, I looked at why he ran, and it was for similar reasons that I did. It was because we saw a county in distress, and it wasn't, or at least it didn't have the appearance of getting any better. So basically you go all in and you just say, I'm going to do everything I can to try and make this county a better place, public safety wise. And so he's very, very dedicated, and not necessarily to me. He's dedicated to the position. He ran against me. I mean, he wanted it over me. But I don't hold that against him, because he did it for the same reason I did, and I wanted it over him. But I knew that he would do fine if he got into that position as well. So that was basically it, and it's been a fantastic fit. The morale has gone up in the organization, clearly, in my opinion. And there's sometimes it's just the little things you do, to try and make things better. Get people to the academy for training. It seems pretty standard around industry-wide, but it wasn't here. We hadn't nobody gone to the academy. Nobody was going to any training. So it's a matter of trying to find those funds and make it a more professional environment. And when you do that, you naturally increase morale. People feel more valued.
It's obvious that when we're asking you a question, as opposed to the Daily Courier, for example, that it might seem like we're waiting for you to make a mistake, but you did just say.
What did I say?
You said that morale is better. Was morale not so good with the previous jail commander, and why would that be?
I don't know if I would put it on the jail commander in general. Morale went real bad, and I'd hesitate to go throw it on any one person. They went through massive cuts in 2012, and they had been, just beat down and beat down and beat down and beat down, and that in and amongst itself is going to create people calling in sick and not showing up to work and that type of thing. And when you do that, then it creates even a more difficult environment to work in, because you don't know exactly what you're doing day to day. So yeah, I think overall, I think I could say that it's just this scenario, just the way it worked.
You know why I asked, because there are some people who are saying, hey, what was wrong with the previous jail commander? We thought that she was doing a pretty good job. Well?
Everybody has issues. I'm not perfect. Ed's not perfect. My lieutenant's not perfect. And I think there's always room for change and room for improvement. That was a decision to make that change that I made, and to this day I stand by it.